That night after Damien told Elena that his own family wanted him dead, Elena studied him, the vulnerability in his words tugging at something she usually kept locked away. Blood doesn't mean family, she muttered, more to herself than to him. Damien looked at her again, really looked at her. Her tangled dark hair, her threadbare hoodie clinging to her small frame, the dirt smudged on her cheek that the river hadn't washed away. She was the kind of woman the world overlooked, yet she had just dragged him out of death. "I owe you my life," he said quietly. "Yeah, well, don't go making a big deal out of it," she shot back, though her cheeks warmed under his gaze. "Anyone would have jumped in." "No," he said firmly, his voice low but certain. "Not anyone. Most people would have turned their backs." The words struck deeper than she expected. For months, she had been invisible, surviving on scraps, ignored by the world. And here was this man of wealth and privilege, looking at her as if she were the only person who mattered. She cleared her throat, uncomfortable with the weight of his stare. "You should probably get somewhere warm before you catch pneumonia. I don't exactly carry spare tuxedos." He almost laughed, shaking his head. I can't go back. Not yet. If my brothers know I survived, they'll try again." Elena arched a brow. "So what, you're just gonna hide out here with me? Hate to break it to you, Damien, but I don't exactly have a 5-star suite." "I don't care," he said simply. "Right now, I just need to breathe. To think." His eyes softened, drifting toward her again. "Anne, I trust you." Her chest tightened unexpectedly. Trust. The word felt foreign. Nobody trusted Elena anymore, not after she lost her job, her home, her place in the world. She was just another face on the sidewalk to most people. Yet this man, who had everything to lose, was handing her that fragile word as though she deserved it. She swallowed hard. "Fine. You can stick around. But don't say I didn't warn you. My place is prime real estate, prime as in, prime wind tunnel between two dumpsters." Damien's lips curved, a flicker of amusement shining through the exhaustion. "Lead the way." They walked along the riverbank, both of them dripping, their shoes squelching with each step. Elena led him through the quieter streets, away from the neon glow of the main avenues, into the parts of the city most people pretended didn't exist. The homeless camp under the bridge was half empty tonight, a few figures curled under blankets, steam rising from a barrel fire. Elena ignored the curious glances as she guided Damien to her little corner behind an abandoned warehouse. It wasn't much. Just a patch of concrete shielded from the wind by stacked pallets, her blanket folded neatly on top of cardboard. A plastic bag with her few possessions sat against the wall. To Damien, who came from a world of marble floors and silk sheets, it must have looked like the bottom rung of hell. But he didn't flinch. Elena dropped onto her blanket, wringing water from her hair. "Welcome to the penthouse." To her surprise, Damien lowered himself beside her, his expensive watch catching the glow from a distant street lamp. He leaned back against the cold brick, exhaling slowly. For the first time since she dragged him from the river, he seemed to let himself relax. "You really live like this?" he asked softly. She shot him a look. "What gave it away?" "The designer cardboard." He chuckled, a real laugh this time, warm and unexpected. Elena blinked, startled by how different he looked when he smiled. Younger, less burdened. Almost human. "I'm sorry," he said quickly. "I didn't mean it like that. I can't wrap my head around it. You saved me, Elena. And yet here you are, surviving with nothing, while he broke off, jaw tightening. While you almost drowned in a $5,000 suit," she offered dryly. "Something like that," he admitted. His gaze lingered on her again, softer now. "You're remarkable." The words hit her harder than she wanted to admit. No one had called her that in years. Not since before everything fell apart. She turned away, focusing on the distant hum of traffic. "Don't get carried away. I'm just someone who can swim." But Damien didn't seem convinced. He shifted closer, his shoulder brushing hers. Heat radiated between them despite their damp clothes, an unspoken current sparking in the cold night air. "Still," he murmured, his voice deep and certain. "You're the reason I'm alive." Elena's heart stuttered in her chest. She forced herself to laugh, light and careless. Guess that makes you my rent now. You owe me. Damien smiled, but there was something in his eyes, something more intense, more unguarded. He looked at her as though she were more than just the woman who'd saved him. And for the first time in a long while, Elena felt seen. The night stretched on, filled with silence broken only by the occasional car horn in the distance. Damien eventually drifted into a restless sleep, his head tipped back against the wall. Elena stayed awake, watching him, trying to piece together the absurdity of her night. She had rescued a millionaire, a man who claimed his brothers wanted him dead, a man who now sat inches from her in a world so far from his own. And yet, beneath the flickering streetlight, he didn't look untouchable. He looked human, vulnerable. And, against her better judgment, she felt her guard slip, just a little. As dawn began to tint the horizon, Elena pulled her blanket tighter around him, ignoring the strange warmth blooming in her chest. She told herself it was just practicality, keeping him from freezing. But deep down, she knew it was something else. Something she hadn't let herself feel in years. Hope. Thank you for watching. Final part available shortly.